QuickGallopJHey.com, and its YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper, continue its coverage of the 7-furlong, 3-year-old, Prince Consort Stakes. The Prince Consort Stakes, an event for colts and geldings, will be contested on Sunday, April 14, 2024. The attention is now focused on the last wins by the 9 starters listed on the overnight program, done in draw order.
They're off and racing. Chief Dissident misses it and is left at the back of the field early. Out wide, that is Crown Chaser with that lead passing the 6-furlong point. Brenda Boy chases in second. Right there too, that's Oil Machine. Behind Oil Machine, the Soul Warrior. Then comes Himaya. Chief Dissident just recovering, passing one, and Spraga, and now sharing the back of the field. That's Spraga and Chief Dissident. They've passed the heading to the 4, and it is Crown Chaser. Half a length in front of racing in second, that's Brenda Boy. Oil Machine watches them from third. The Soul Warrior comes next. Then comes Imaya. Also coming on from behind that is Spraga, and racing at the back of the field, Chief Dissident. They're coming to the 2.5 furlong pole, and it is Crown Chaser on that lead, tracked all the while though by Brenda Boy. Also coming on the rail, that's Oil Machine, but it is Crown Chaser in front and beginning to pull away, about 3 lengths in front, and now beginning to show a bit better, more class than these, as Crown Chaser looks to have this one all sewn up. Crown Chaser sprinting off, coming to the 1/2 furlong pole, and this looks like it's going to turn into double digits. It's about 8 at the moment. Crown Chaser eased in the end by the sneaky fox radish Roman. Crown Chaser on an afternoon stroll, maybe by double digits. It's tight for second though. Looks like Oil Machine just getting there ahead of Brenda Boy and Himaya. They're off and racing. J Speed steps a bit slow and is left at the back of the field. Oil Machine got a good break out wide. J Speed coupling up nicely as they head towards the 6 furlong point on the course. So they're coming to the 6, and it is J Speed on the rail right there too. That's Bold Shadow, and Bold Shadow is right there. Also coming up on the rail, that's Kaylin Melody, and now Kaylin Melody and J Speed fight on. Bold Shadow watches them from third. Then comes the General right against the rail. Right beside the General, that is Oil Machine, and racing at the back of the field, King Pie. They head towards the 4, and it is still the war up front between Kaylin Melody and J Speed. They've eked out a 2-length lead from Bold Shadow racing in third. Going down into it now, that's Oil Machine. The General backing out and also recovering and making ground. That's King Pie. They're coming to the 3, and it is J Speed narrowly about a 1/2 length from Kaylin Melody. These two have been fighting for it so far. Also coming on the outside and coming down, that is King Pie, looking dangerous. Oil Machine is right there too. Then comes behind those, that's Bold Shadow, and racing at the back of the field, the General. J Speed kicks away from Kaylin Melody, still trying to fight hard. Also coming on, that is King Pie. J Speed bringing them to the furlong pole with a good-looking lead. It's J Speed slipping away from these. King Pie is also fighting back, fighting for more. That's Kaylin Melody, but J Speed out in the middle of the racetrack and full of run this afternoon. It's J Speed opening of the card. It's terrific. Tevin Foster and J Speed sprinting clear, maybe by 6. Got tight for second. Could be Kaylin Melody over King Pie, and Oil Machine backing fourth. They're off and racing. Not a bad line. Come Home to Me, the first one to show, right against the rail, that's Matuso. Pope's Lady attacking on the outside. Then comes Riches to Rags racing in fourth. Then coming around Riches to Rag, that is Don't Tell Lulu, and racing at the back of the field, Buttercup. They head toward the 3, and it is Come Home to Me, just the leader from Pope's Lady on the outside. Right against in the middle, that is but Matuso. 5 lengths away before we come to the trio of Riches to Rags, Buttercup, and racing at the back, Don't Tell Lulu. They're at the top of the lane, and Pope's Lady looks to be pointing just ahead of racing in the middle. That's Come Home to Me, right against the rail, Matuso. A real battle royal on, and it is now Matuso right against the rail along with Come Home to Me. Pope's Lady trying to stay with them. They're coming to the 1/2 furlong pole, and it is Matuso on the inside. Come Home to Me, Matuso just showing the way, and Matuso begins to draw off a bit. Come Home to Me coming back for more, but Matuso beats Come Home to Me. Then comes Pope's Lady, and it got tight for fourth between Riches to Rags and Buttercup. One of them dancing in the gate. They're off and racing. Indestructible misses it and is left at the back of the field along with Town Star as they head towards the 6-furlong point. Roman Princess in front of Icarus Slim racing in second. Racola is right there in a third, right beside Racola and coming around nicely. That is Rosetta right on the rail. That's Rock Them. Behind Rock Them, that is Kaylin Melody. Captain Sparrow and Brenda Boy comes next and racing at the back of the field. Indestructible. They head toward the 4-furlong point, and it is Rosetta and Roman Princess sharing that lead. Stalking them in third, that's Icarus Slim right against the rail, Rock Them. Then comes Racola racing in fifth. About 4 or 5 lengths before we come to Captain Sparrow recovering along with Brenda Boy. Kaylin Melody comes next and still racing at the back of the field. Well, there's one racing at the back of the field behind Indestructible. That's Town Star way out of it. They're coming at the top of the lane. Rosetta kicks on that lead about 3 lengths in front. Racola right against the rail. Out wide Icarus Slim and racing wide out of it. That is Captain Sparrow beginning to fly. It is still in front. Rosetta, Captain Sparrow beginning to take on wings. It's Captain Sparrow and Rosetta. They're coming to the half a furlong pole. It's Captain Sparrow now begins to go away. Rosetta is still stubborn, but Captain Sparrow begins to pull off, and Captain Sparrow goes on to win with the champion jockey, Rain Lewis. Captain Sparrow beat Rosetta. Then comes Brenda Boy, Racola, and Indestructible.
Start already. They're off for the Jamaica 2-year-old stakes. Fair start. Banadura, as expected, shows speed along with Fast and Furious Links. Run Julie Run is racing on the outside of horses. Matuso in the black cap is in the center. Right there against the rail, that's Come Home to Me as they make their way now toward the final 6. Banadura out in front, tested by Matuso, ahead separates them, they fly past the 6. Come Home to Me races next, some 3 lengths back with Run Julie Run for company. Fast and Furious Links races up next. In behind those, that's Interesting Times Ahead. A break of 2 back to Rosetta, they leave the 5. Buttercup races on the outside, beginning to make ground. Lucy in the Sky, Miss Cherry just toward the back, and now asked to improve as they arrive at the half mile, and speed will now be added to the race as they run the turn. Banadura trying to slip away from horses. Run Julie Run now moves quickly down into second and chasing. Matuso fading back just a bit. Interesting Times Ahead wound up for Run. Just on the outside, that's Fast and Furious Links. Come Home to Me races with Lucy in the Sky. Miss Cherry has a lot to do from there along with Buttercup, and forget Rosetta at the moment as the field turned for home in the Jamaica 2-year-old stakes. They leave the top of the lane, and Run Julie Run now scoots through and grabs the lead. Interesting Times Ahead down against the rail. It's Run Julie Run tackled now by Interesting Times Ahead, and Interesting Times Ahead kicks and gets that lead. Run Julie Run left a length and a half back. It's Interesting Times Ahead inside the final 16th, who holds the advantage under the bustling Philip Parchment. They win the Jamaica 2-year-old stakes by maybe 3 lengths over Run Julie Run. Then Fast and Furious Links, Buttercup in a photograph with Lucy in the Sky. Miss Cherry has finished next in 5th. This is the 30th running of the Sir Howard Stakes, and they're off. Fair start. World Surprise took off quickly with Jay Spieth. Hidden from view at the moment, Teflon Don also wanting that lead, and Teflon Don emerges with a very narrow advantage as they leave the 5. Jay Spieth and World Surprise in behind. Toward the outside, King's Crown, Allegiance tucked in against the rail, and Playfair, possibly 6 lengths off the lead, trails the field as they leave the half mile and run the bend. Teflon Don attempting to escape pursuit, goes on by a length and a half. World Surprise pushed down into second. Jay Spieth right there in third, cutting the corner on the rail as they leave the 3rd pole. King's Crown needs to find 4 or more. Playfair now wound up on the outside, and Allegiance also needs to 5, possibly 5, as they come thundering into the top of the lane in the 30th running of the Sir Howard Stakes. And up front, Jay Spieth has now come through to snatch that lead. World Surprise, a danger on the outside. Teflon Don has faded back toward the center of horses, and Allegiance has to run on the rail, but it is Jay Spieth inside the final furlong. Here is Allegiance now wound up with a kick down against the fence. It is Jay Spieth driven to the max. Allegiance now bubbling to the boil on the rail, and Allegiance is traveling strong, and Allegiance will win the 30th running of the Sir Howard Stakes. Jay Spieth is second. World Surprise is third, close between Playfair and Teflon Don. They're off for the Mercury Sprint. Teflon Don getting to business early, comes out with a good start. Warrior Stomp in the blue races more toward the center of the track as Teflon Don drifts to the center. Warrior Stomp in the blue racing just in behind him. Left out of it, that's Chief Dissident on the far side. A Bold Shadow now asked to make some ground as they've covered now the first 2 furlongs. And Teflon Don has been in charge from the off and attempts to go gate to wire. Bold Shadow will try to deny, but Teflon Don under a hand ride. Haladin having a look between his legs, and Teflon Don is just cruising as they leave the quarter pole behind them. Bold Shadow can't land a blow and needs to find several lengths along with the rest. Warrior Stomp maybe third over the General down against the rail, but it's all over at this stage. A furlong to run. What can happen to stop Teflon Don from romping the Mercury Sprint? And nothing has happened so far. Inside the final 16th, it's all over. Teflon Don and Robert Haladin for Elizabeth Da Costa and Jason Da Costa. They win on a trot, maybe double digits. The General is second, Bold Shadow third, Warrior Stomp is fourth.
The Rough and Racing, that's a beautiful line. Right in the mix and going right through now, that is Affair on the outside of Affair, that is Unruly Don. So Affair just the leader from Unruly Don racing in second. Right there against the rail, that's Imaya. In the between horses, that's Oil Machine, and out wide, that's Rocola. Then comes the General coming down nicely into it. First Offense comes next, and racing at the back of the field, that's Solar Black. They've left the 4 and head toward the 3, and it is Unruly Don on that lead. Right there too, that's Affair coming up on the inside. Stalking them from third, that is the General. Also coming on the rail, that is Imaya. Out wide, that's First Offense. Oil Machine is right in the mix too. They're at the top of the lane, and it is Unruly Don with that lead. Affair trying to switches off the rail as Unruly Don switch down on the rail with that lead. It's Unruly Don in front of Affair. The General coming forward, also coming forward nicely. That's Rocola. It is the General. It is making the runnings. Unruly Don in front, coming to the half a furlong pole. Unruly Don looks to have this one all one. Still chasing in second. That's Affair. Rocola running on for third, but Unruly Don put paid to the field by about 3 lengths. Second Affair. Then comes Rocola, and Oil Machine back in fourth. Ready for a start for Michael Sims. They're off and racing right away. Indestructible, the problematic one, misses the break and gives the rest a huge jump. As making the running Affair. Affair goes on with that lead. It's Affair in front. Midnight Galaxy is right there too. So it's Affair in front of Midnight Galaxy as they go past the 4. And still on that lead. Affair tackled by Midnight Galaxy right there too. That's Bold Shadow making ground. That's Irish Wish as they come towards, also coming on, that's First Offense. They're going to come into the lane shortly, and it is Affair. Irish Wish attacking on the outside. Midnight Galaxy is right between horses, right against the rail. That's Bold Shadow. They're coming down to the furlong and a half pole, and it is Irish Wish narrowly in front of Midnight Galaxy. Watch Bold Shadow right against the rail, and out wide, that is First Offense, but it is Irish Wish beginning to repel the challenge and repelling it nicely too. Irish Wish is going on to win and going on easily. Midnight Galaxy will be second. Then comes Bold Shadow, First Offense, and Affair is fifth.
Thank you for watching another video produced by the team from QuickGallopJaya.com and its YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper. Please stay on the channel for other enlightening videos on those involved in local horse racing. Please like, subscribe, and press the notification bell.